the vast majority of people realize that it's a pretty open division right now, that everybody in the top 10 is really close, the top 5 super close.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. September 23rd, UFC Fight Night. You're back in action. Hopefully,
Yes,
you're back in action. You know what I mean? Nothing goes wrong. Pray to God.
Yeah,
Dan Argueta, you know what I mean? When you look at him, you know what I mean? You look at his record. He's 1-1-1 in the UFC. Very, very odd to have a record like that. What do you think of him and the fighting style?
I think he's a good fighter. You know, I think he's like a fast-paced fighter. He's going to come forward. He's not scared, and he has a good gas tank. I don't think that he's on my level, you know, but I think it's an exciting matchup. I think it's going to be a fun fight. You know, I've been saying all the way up to his build-up that that's going to be the fight to watch on September 23rd, and I really do believe that. I think fans tune into that, they're going to see an exciting fight. But yeah, stylistically, I think it's a good matchup for me stylistically.
Without a doubt. And what'd you think of that fight against Ronnie Lawrence, man? Did you think Lawrence tapped?
I didn't think he tapped. You know, it was just unfortunate for both parties because I do think Dan was looking good. You know, he was looking sharp. He was all over Lawrence. And I think that the tap was going to be coming, but he didn't tap. So it's just unfortunate. Nobody wants to win like that. Nobody wants to lose like that. It's just one of those things, you know, where hopefully we can avoid that in the future in MMA.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen too often, right? Where the referee will stop the
Not
fight
too
too
often,
early.
but my younger brother got his championship fight for LFA got stopped before he tapped as well, and before he was out, he was in the arm triangle, and there was clearly no tap, and he clearly wasn't out, and they stopped it. I mean, he was in a bad position again, same thing, but like let the fighters keep fighting. There's only a couple seconds left in the first round or second round as well.
Yeah, especially in a title fight, man. You know, people say,
Yeah.
you know, let the title fights go a little longer because there's so much more on the line. And then there's
Yeah.
the other side that say the fighter shouldn't take unnecessary damage unless, you know what I mean? What side are
Yeah.
you on? You should it go a little longer?
It's all intuition, you know, like you just gotta trust that you're gonna be able to understand what that not really understand what the fighter's going through because you can't, but you're gonna know, is this fighter still fighting? Like, do they still have the fighting spirit? Are they trying to stay in this fight? And that's why it's hard, you know. That's why I'm not bagging on any refs or anything like that. That's a hard job, you know, but hopefully we can figure something out and do something to where we can avoid these type of situations, because yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Dan and unfortunate for my brother, and yeah, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That fight we didn't really get to learn too much except for, you know, what his game plan was against Ronnie Lawrence. What did you think about the other fights? You know, I mean, the other fights went the distance. You got to study him a little bit more. 15 minutes. You
You
know,
know,
that's a lot of time.
I think there's no secret with Dan. You know, when Dan gets in there, you know Dan's trying to get his hands on you and he's trying to grapple. Even when he fought my teammate Damon Jackson, my old teammate, he had Damon hurt maybe once or twice on the feet, and then he went into the grappling. Like, that's just instinctually who he is. You know, he's gonna get in your face. He's gonna try to get his hands on you. So I don't think, I don't think that he's really going to be able to just completely change that. I mean, I'm expecting him to try to go in there and try to grapple me. If I looked at my past fights, he's probably gonna try to push the pace, but I'm ready for that. I'm ready for anything, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We're expecting him to grapple you, but if he does come in and want to test the hands, that's where you want it, right? You want
Yeah, that's what
him
I
to
want.
try to test the
If he wants to
hands.
come in and test his hands, and I mean, maybe he will. Like, I mean, people know I'm a hard hitter, so everybody wants to kind of dip the foot in the water, and yeah, if he does that, that'll be fun, you know. But also, I'm a state champion wrestler, so if you want to come in and wrestle all night, like, I mean, I lived my life. I lived and breathed wrestling for so long, such a big part of my life. So I'm about that too. You know, it's that's why I think it's just gonna be a fun fight. You know, I'm looking to get finished, but I know that Dan is a game opponent. He is determined, as his nickname says, and he's gonna come after me. So it's gonna be another one of those bantamweight bangers.
You had a fight on June 17th, you know, a showdown with Ryan Barcelos. We spoke ahead of that fight. That was a banger of a fight as well. You know, I mean, you were pulled.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, man, I got injured. It's crazy. I had the best camp of my life for that fight. You know, I was feeling so good. I was really visualizing getting a big knockout. You know, like finding his chin, in some of those exchanges and stuff, and just having a really big night. And I was just doing the fight run through and had a crazy injury. And it ended up at first they were saying I was gonna have to have surgery, be out for 6 months, but then talked to another doctor in the area, and he was real progressive about like rehab and everything, and we could be back in there. So I did everything the best that I could. I took it for what it is. Like I never expected that. Like if I get to fight week, I have had an opponent have to pull out the day of the fight because of COVID. Dos Santos did, and we moved it back 2 weeks. So I was no stranger to crazy things like that happening, but I never thought it'd be from my end. And it just sucked. Like it really was just gut wrenching. But I had to just tell myself this was meant to be for this time. It's just another little challenge. We got over that challenge. I feel better than I ever have before. And I've learned a lot through that process of recovering and everything. So it is what it is. I'm just super happy we got to get right back on track. Like for people have short attention spans, so they thought I was supposed to fight June 17th, kind of forgot about it. Now I'm right back in. They're like, all right, let's see what he got. It's from my standpoint, it's the same type of thing. Same time for me to show what I've been working on.
So basically, just rehab and rest for a couple of weeks.
Rehab and rest for a couple weeks, stayed on top of what I could. And then after the rehab was done, then I went back to training. But I was super strict with the rehab. Like they're like, don't go in there and try to spar and do this. Like, and a lot of times, the hard headed me would want to try to do that, but I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not taking any chances. I'm gonna do it the right way. So
Well, when were you able to get back to full blast training, especially for this upcoming fight?
Really, I was like full blast. Like I was training and doing a lot of different things, but full blast sparring, all that was probably about 8 weeks from this fight. Like the week that I went back to full blast training, I was like, man, I'm ready to get a fight. Like let's go, let's get a fight. Jason messaged me that same week and was like, hey, we got this for this date. And right away we're like perfect. We've been training, now we're like full tilt training, coming right into a camp. Like that's how I wanted. I didn't want to have a lot of lag time and going full blast training and waiting to hear about fight news and stuff. Because I mean, that's also how injuries can happen. I was ready to get right into it.
The last time we talked, you spoke about joining the new team at Marathon MMA. In the past couple of months or past couple of weeks, actually, you've had a couple of your teammates fight, right? It's kind of like the new, I don't know what to say, the new wave of the Marathon MMA getting
Yeah,
started. Is that what it is, right? That's what it was. You were supposed to be the first one to fight, to be honest.
yeah. I was supposed to be the first out of marathon to fight, and so I was a little bit salty that I didn't get that opportunity. But I mean, I'm just messing around. Of course, I was super
Sure.
happy for my teammate Garrett. Mike. That was just a tough thing. That was just a tough thing with Mike. It sucks he didn't get to show what he's really about in that fight. But we kind of knew with Terrence McKinney, it's either going to go like that or you drag him out and beat him in a long war. So that's just unfortunate. But we move on from that. We lick our wounds from that, and then Garrett went in there and had an absolutely spectacular performance.
Yeah.
Not just in the fight, like in the fight, before the fight, at the weigh-in, just everything. I felt like he was really representing himself well, representing the team well, and went out there and did his thing. In beautiful fashion. So that was nice to get that ball rolling and get that momentum going. And then I'm next, and then Coach Trey just got a fight booked also. I think November something,
Hmm.
which is a good fight. So we do feel like we're here now. We've been working, we've been grinding, and now it's time to let people know who we are in the UFC. Like we got fighters in there competing at the highest level. So yeah, it's a fun time.
Without a doubt, man. And the morale, you just talked about it. It must be high right now. Garrett, man, the punches, dude, they were so accurate. I never seen him, I don't think, strike like that ever before
Yeah,
in his career.
if you really look back, like I mean, he fought Onama on I think 4 days notice.
Mhm.
4 days notice, up a weight class against a monster like Onama, and that was a good first competitive round. Like I mean, they were banging, they were going back and forth. He was landing shots, Onama was landing shots, and I think Garrett just got tired in the second after such fast paced fight, which is understandable, short notice. But yeah, dude, yeah, man, his hands are clean. They're crisp. He's right. He's super accurate with his boxing. He's super good, slipping right out and getting right back in. So I mean, I've loved having him at the gym. Like we've been going to work, and seeing him get that win like that, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm about to go get mine too, and yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna get this thing rolling. So it's fun.
for sure. Ride the wave. And you're in camp right now. What do the last couple of weeks look like for you for training camp before fight week?
For me now, it's kind of like I gotta hold myself back, because I'm a goer. Like I work really hard, and I work really hard all the way up into the fight. But with last camp and everything, and just kind of been the trend that I need to I need to ease back a little bit. I need to let the work just kind of settle in and stuff, and yeah, just make it smooth and make it to the fight. So that's what I'm doing. But right now I'm in the trenches. Like I'm going hard right now. Like 3 days or 2 days at least at the minimum. So um, it's fun. It's fun. We're riding that. This where confidence comes from, and this is where all that happened is in May, or this is where all that is made. You know what I'm saying? In these days right now, so I'm having fun with training, going hard.
Yeah, man, you've had back-to-back training camps, you know what I mean, for two different guys, but you know what I mean, back-to-back training camps. There's always benefits to that, right? Mentally and physically. What type of performance
Yeah,
are you envisioning for yourself?
I'm envisioning a very technical, very smart performance. I think that I want the announcers to be kind of like, we haven't seen anybody take this approach against Dan Argueta, but it's very smart. He's doing exactly what he should be doing, and he's making it look easy. And then I'm always looking for that bonus, 50K MJ. I'm trying to find it, and I think that if I stick to the game plan and I don't hunt the knockout, that the knockout will come. It'll present itself, and I'll capitalize on it.
Definitely, definitely. And you know, the division, we got a new champion, man. Did you ever be honest, did you ever expect Sean O'Malley to become champion?
Yeah, I did. Because I recognize I recognize what the mental aspect has in this game, and you can tell when somebody got the juice. Like people, when somebody got juice, people want to hate on that, and they want to say, oh this, oh that, oh this, and there's some fights that could be hard fights with Sean O'Malley, but I mean, I recognize that he had the juice. I recognize that he was doing the mental side, and I recognize that he had skill. So I'm really not that surprised to see him as champion. But I think the vast majority of people realize that it's a pretty open division right now, that everybody in the top 10 is really close, the top five super close. And with him as a champion, with respect, I don't feel like it's not like they found a Henry Cejudo at the beginning of his reign when it's like, who the heck is going to beat this guy? It's a very interesting time where it's like, well, he could beat him, and then he beats him, and then he beats him. That belt could be getting passed around a little bit. So I like that. I like all the attention behind the division. I'm gonna just creep right in that top 15, creep right in that top 10, and then I'll be like in where Pedro Munoz is, but I'll be in my prime knocking people out. So, um, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Beautiful, beautiful. One last thing, man. Have you been following this back and forth between Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul?
Man, I see little glimpses of it, but I try not to pay too much attention.
Yeah. Well, you know, Dennis is trolling pretty heavy. I just wanted to get your response on this. You know, you're fighting somebody. You're a fighter. So when you face somebody off, then they're gonna fight each other in boxing. Um, would you? How would you react if someone was attacking your fiance in the pre-fight, like hype, basically, like just posting stuff online? Like, what would your reaction be to all of that?
I mean, I think you would just take it for what it is. Like if you I'd probably say something witty back online, but I don't know. Just it is what it is. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a clown fest because I like the Paul brothers. I think they're doing good things for the sport. Dylan Dennis, I see them all. Like you can't scroll Instagram and not see a comment of some ridiculous comment of his on some sort of post. Or you're just like, what's this guy on? But I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's just promoting self promotion, and I don't know him personally, so but yeah, I like the respect side of the game. I like trash talking. I like hype being built up. I like a little aminosity or just competitiveness. I like Michael Jordan's very freaking competitive. Like anybody he's facing, you can feel the tension just because they're trying to beat him. I like that, but I don't like clown shows. I don't like that type of attention. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a different era, I guess, in the
Yeah.
sport. Do you think we'll ever have like a champion like GSP, someone that really never talked shit, but was like at the highest level, you know, popularity, all of that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think Volk is going to be a great. I think he's going to be a great representation of like a champion and how somebody can go about promoting themselves, saying talking their little, being confident with themselves, and then also doing things the right way and having integrity and everything. So yeah, then I think there'll be plenty more behind him.